Okay, the last stage in producing your final design is to copy or trace out your final design. So obviously you can end up with 4 of these. So choose your best one, or what you think is your best one. You could do more than one if you wanted to. It's up to you. But obviously I've done this design. I'm happy with it. Just check that everything fits in and you've not made any mistakes and you're happy with the way it all looks. So the next stage is to then trace it off the shape of the shoe. So we don't want the shape of the shoe, the drawing of the shoe on there anymore. We just want the design on its own. So you end up with something that looks like this. Now, I've traced it very carefully. You can see that's the shape of the stripe here. It's tricky to get it to fit exactly, but as long as you've used the shoe that's on the screen that we're going to use, it should be on the Vans website you can use, should be fine. And obviously the next thing you need to do is to photograph it. Okay, so you should end up with obviously a photograph like that. Now when you take the photograph, let's just do that on the phone just to show you. When you end up taking the photograph, you might end up with some shadows. Try and avoid that. So there's a light directly above me, but if I move and manipulate my camera around, you can see that there's a shadow there. Okay, of my camera. If I move kind of slightly out of the way, try not to tilt the camera. You want to take a picture directly above, and you want to get as close as you can. That's okay. The shadow's not touching. I know I'm slightly off camera. There you go. You can see better. The shadow's not touching the image. I'm happy with that. While it's in the camera, I'm going to edit it. So what I'm going to do is first of all I'm going to crop it. So for some reason it's rotated it. I didn't want it to do that. Let's go back. Cancel that. Let's go to changes. Go to edit. Go to crop. So for some reason, so if I choose, it's rotated it, but I've rotated it back. And then I'm going to crop it down. I'm happy with that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the settings here, and I'm going to look for brightness first of all. Now I'm going to take the brightness right up. Next to brightness should be contrast. I'm going to take the contrast right up. And the last thing I'm going to do is go to black point. And obviously this is on an iPhone, but there should be something similar on an Android phone as well. And then I'm going to choose done. And I've tidied it. It's still got a bit of a shadow here, but we can get rid of that in PowerPoint. You then need to obviously get that off your phone. So you either need to put it into your OneDrive folder, or you could email it to yourself, either or. And then you need to get that image into PowerPoint. So here's the image here. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate it. Also, first of all, sorry, what I'm going to do first of all is if you double click on the image and then go to corrections, it's just off the screen here at the top, corrections, and then I'm just going to correct it so that you can see that you might end up with a grey background like that. If you just select a bit more brightness, as you can see there, and if you then sharpen it as well, what you want to end up with, a purely black and white image. So no grey shadows, no shadows of your camera, nothing, just purely black and white image. Then what you're going to do is you're going to copy it and paste it, and then flip it. So what I've done here is that all I've done is I've delete that. I've copied and pasted it, and then I've gone double clicked on it, and I've gone up to rotate here and flip horizontal, and we get a copy of it. Make sure they're not overlapping each other and make sure they're in line. That's okay. And then we've got our final image. The only thing that I've noticed is obviously if you've got numbers or letters on there, the numbers and letters will flip and will read backwards. And the only way to get around that is you could use Photoshop to correct that if you wanted, but the only other way manually is to basically make a second copy, trace off a second copy of your design in reverse. So on paper you do it in reverse, and then you would draw the 30 or any letters in the other way, the opposite way round. Obviously you'd end up with two slightly different designs, so it's probably best off to try and do it digitally if you can, or don't worry too much about it. At least you'll have one side of the shoe which will have the numbers and the letters the right way around. Okay, so there's a reason why we're doing it this way. Now what you'll need to do then is you need to copy the slide out into a new blank presentation, delete the slide, so you've only got that slide, and then you need to go to File, and you're going to save it as, and then you can save it to your folder, OneDrive or whatever that might be. So I'm going to put it into 10 graphics. Okay, and what you're going to save it is not going to save it as a PowerPoint presentation, you're going to save it as a JPEG. So you can actually save a PowerPoint slide as an image, as a JPEG image. So you can see that I've done it already here, shoe design slides. Okay, and then save that into your folder, and then you have that as a JPEG image. And then obviously what you can do then is add that to the customize function on the Vans website, which we'll do now. So we're ready to, now you've got your design, you've got each side of the shoe ready. What we're going to do is bring that onto the shoe. So I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to click on the side panel of my shoe. In fact, if I go back, I'm going to show you. So this is the link on the blog brings you here. We're going to get started with customize. We go to customs. If you go to the website, it's on the website. It's at the top. It says customs around here. Let's go to the Vans website and customs, and then click on the shoe that you want, whichever shoe that you like. I want the SK high top. Click on that, and then you get a choice of 3. I'm just going to go with the one down here. Obviously we're not going to buy it. We're just using the website to help us create our final image, a final design, and there we go. Okay, so if you click on the shoe and pull and drag with your mouse button, you can see that I can rotate the shoe. So the first of all, what I'm going to do is click on the panel to add the design. It's this panel here. You can see that it highlights red when you click on it, and then I'm going to go to here, add your own, and then upload a photo. It takes me to where my image is, or you might have to go and find it. Shoe design sides. Open that. You select your shoe size and continue. And there you go, there's the image. Now you're trying to place the image on top of the shoe, so it's the left hand image that we want. Now it's a little bit fiddly. You've got to enlarge the image to fit. I traced another shoe, a different shoe, and my design doesn't quite fit properly. So I'm just going to fit it as best that I can. To make it, enlarge it, unfortunately you have to drag it out of the way and then put it back in, because you can't see the corners to drag them. Okay, so that's about right there. So if I want to adjust it, I'm going to have to drag the image there and then pull it a little bit and then drag it all the way back again to see if it fits, and if it doesn't, then it's a little bit fiddly. It's not ideal, but it's good enough. Okay, you can crop the image, you can rotate it, you can do it. I don't do any of that. And I have tried to flip it as well, and it doesn't work. This is the way you need to do it. So that's the first one. So I go next. Oh, you've got to have a gap in between your image as well. And then obviously the other side is the other image, the other half of the image. Now I've resized it so it should fit perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but it should fit. There we go, happy with that. And then next, you can play around with that, get it right. Then it will show you a preview of what it will look like. It's pretty cool. There you go, that's what the shoes look like, that's what they look like from the side. Yeah, look at that, I'm happy with that. Happy with that. Doesn't quite fit here, but if you trace this shoe off the website, then it should fit. You can look from above as well. There we go, and we go finish. As if by magic, your design will appear, hopefully, on the side of the shoe. There we go. The wheel on the mouse zooms in and out. And there you go, there's the design on the shoe. And obviously the rest of the shoe is completely customizable as well. So if I click on that panel, I can change the color of that. And if I click on the what's called the foxing, yeah, at the bottom, I can change that as well. I've got limited colors like if I've got gum, white or black, I'm happy with black. Can even change the line, the kind of where the stitching is. You can change each and every panel. I'll just do a quick, quite like red, quick version, and obviously the front of the shoe as well. Do that. I think you can even do the laces, and you can even do inside the shoe as well. There you go. Customize it to your heart's content. And then what I've done is, you can see that it spins. So if you hold your pointer out here somewhere and press print screen, you can do some various screenshots of your shoe, different angles, back and the sides, and then paste them into PowerPoint, and now you've got your final designs. Now I've done one version with the composition where it overlaps, so that's this composition here, and I've done one design with the design that kind of fits perfectly in there. You can see the difference. The icons get kind of chopped off and overlap, but on this one they fit. I think I much prefer this one because this one's much more like the Air Max, the Air Jordan 20s in its design. So what I would recommend is that you do some various screenshots, print screen, paste that in, double click on it, let's crop it down. I can just get rid of all the text on it there so we don't see it. And you could make yourself a presentation page as if you were going to present this to a client who you've designed these shoes for, as if Tinker Hatfield, you are Tinker Hatfield and you're presenting these shoes to Michael Jordan as the next design. So you go to a meeting with him and you'd show these. Present that how you like. Don't make the images too small. Maybe 2 images per page. You've got enough. You make 2 or 3 slides worth of images. A side view, view from an angle, view from the back from an angle, maybe view from the front, view from the back. Do a nice presentation page of your final idea. And that's it. And that's the kind of the final outcome is these final virtual images of what the shoe would actually look like if it went into production. And there you go. Well done. That's the final video. Remember, pause the video as you go. Go back and watch anything that you don't quite get. Any questions, obviously, contact me by email. And good luck. Hope you enjoy it.